Hello and welcome to this episode of the Business Spotlight. Today we are joined by Kev Orkian from, well, a few businesses in fact. We've got Hertfordshire Studios, we've got Jongleurs, and we've also got British Pantomimes. So welcome to the podcast, Kev.
Thank you very much. God bless you, Mark. It's nice to be here.
Absolute pleasure, absolute pleasure. So Kev, if you can kick things off for us, please, by letting our audience know who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for, please.
Oh, my lordy lord. Right. Okay. Well, my name's Kev Orkian. I've been in the entertainment industry for about 32 years. I started off doing musicals in the West End. Then I went on to pantomimes. Then I went on to TV and film. Then I did the reality shows like Britain's Got Talent and all that lot. And then in 2016, I think 2016, actually, I started Howling Entertainment, which was a entertainment company. Then I went from there to buying Jongleurs, the oldest comedy brand in the UK, the biggest actually. Then I went on to creating British Pantomimes, which is a pantomime pop-up company, to then buying this the third largest comedy brand in the UK called Comedy Bunker. And then I set up studios and everything in Hertfordshire, in Hoddesdon in Hertfordshire, to be precise. And it's a 4,000 square foot theatre, cabaret lounge, podcast, you name it, we do it. And I'm just living my passion. I love it day in, day out.
Wow, I'm loving the energy, Kev. I'm loving the energy. So, I mean, I think this pretty much is going to go without saying, but I always ask people, what is it that you do differently to anybody else out there that's doing something similar?
That's a really good question. And for me, it's the vision. You can't compromise on your vision. You see a lot of people, they go out there, they do it, and their sole goal in life is money. If you're going to be focusing on just the money, you're going to fail in everything you do. Money is always a byproduct of what you're doing, your passion is. So for me, I've never looked at going into an opportunity, just like I did here at the Hertfordshire Studios. I didn't go into this business thinking, oh, I'm going to make millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds. I can do that. That's easy. Without sounding disrespectful to anyone that has made millions, it's easy to make money. It's how do you leave a legacy behind, a reputation, and a form of continuation on anything that you put your heart to and your mind to, that's going to continue when you're long dead and gone. And that's what I'm chasing. That's what I'm pursuing. So that's what wakes me up in the morning. That's the passion that I wake up to, thinking today is going to be a great day. There's so many different opportunities. I'm going to focus on going out there and doing something that is going to change the world or the entertainment industry in a way for the better, for other people to benefit from. So that's what I do differently to anyone else. I wake up in the morning thinking, I'm going to do something great today that's going to be a lasting legacy for many, many years to come.
Wow, I'm loving that energy and that vision and that legacy that you're looking to leave behind, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I often talk to clients about, the 1, the 3, the 5 year goals, but the one that stumps most people is like, what's the 100-year goal? Or what's the
Oh, that's
legacy?
easy for me. I've already done that.
Which is fantastic, right?
Yeah. The 100-year goal for me is to create an industry that's not just UK bound, but it's worldwide. And it's all about bringing quality entertainment to the masses. My sole underlining line, I've been asked this question before. What is it that drives you for the businesses that you run? And everything from Hertfordshire Studios, Jongleurs, Comedy Bunker, British Pantomimes, Howling Entertainment, everything that I do here comes down to the sole purpose of putting a smile on your face or making you laugh and forgetting the world out there for a few hours.
Love that. Absolutely love that. So, I mean, Kev, just sort of, and I'm sure that there's lots that we can talk about here. And I often say, give us a bit more of a whistle stop tour if you would. But what's the journey been like? And just from when you originally set out, you said 30 odd years ago, and some of the sort of milestones along the way.
Everything's a milestone, and people need to understand immediately that nothing of greatness comes to you quickly or easily. Doesn't. It's simple as that. I've learned that the hard way because I tend to trust people very quickly. It's taken me many, many, many years to understand the concept of trust and to understand the concept of loyalty and to understand the concept of not sharing your dreams with the wrong people or any people. You share your dreams with yourself. If you're strong enough and confident enough to believe in your goals, then you will share them within yourself. And when you start to make a change, people will notice it anyway. So you don't really need to put it out there. But for me, the biggest changes over the last 30 years and the goals that I set for myself, I think more than anything else, was the goal that I set in my head, the vision that I set in my head, I didn't compromise on. So I set it, I did it, then I moved on to the next goal. So when I first started out, I wanted to be on stage and make people laugh out loud while performing in some kind of a production. And it happened. I ended up doing nearly 10, 11 musicals in the West End from the age of 19 through to 29. And then I just thought, right, a new goal. And the goal was I need to be on stage on my own. And again, I set the goal and I did it. That's what I would pass on to your listeners, onto your viewers, is don't compromise on your vision. Certainly don't listen to other people, because their fears are not yours, and they will become yours if you become a slave to their words. So that's what I would say do.
Yeah, no, I think that's so powerful. And I've often heard people kick around the phrase comparison is the thief of joy. And I think that's a
Yeah,
beautiful one.
totally.
Yeah. So, okay, brilliant. And thanks for that great share, Kev. So, what does the future hold? What sort of plans have you got going forwards? And what do you think are going to be some of your biggest challenges?
What the future holds? The future holds a mass amount of venues around the world um, seeing my productions, my shows, my comedy clubs, my pantomimes, and bringing it to the masses in an affordable manner. So rather than paying, and I'm not going to mention the show that we went to, but rather than paying £378 for 2 tickets to go and watch something in London and then actually fall asleep in the first half of the show, be woken up in the second half, and then be told that 76% of the audience after the show actually claimed their money back because it was that bad. And I wasn't even aware that we could do that. So when you're paying that kind of money and you're looking at the fact that life is going to continue to get more and more expensive, life is going to continue to get more and more difficult, I want to make it affordable, but I also want to make it accessible for every single person in this country, from adults through to children, the ability to watch entertainment at an affordable price, but at a high-end quality price as well.
Yeah, I'm loving that. I think that's fantastic. And a bit earlier on, we was having a conversation before we jumped on air, and you mentioned about some of the strategies that you're using to get people into the auditorium and the
That's
theatre.
right.
Would you like to share that with our viewers?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a very simple concept. So I've realized that my marketing in my company is actually still struggling, and struggling to get people in, struggling to get people to pay 10, 15, 18 quid for a ticket. And what people forget, and this is quite a deep issue for my company and for many, 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 many companies in this country, is how do you put non-well-known comedians, so comedians that are really good at what they do, but they're unknowns, how do you put them in front of an audience that's good, is going to willing to pay £15? How do you do that? Well, we do it through the brand. So we do it through my Jongleurs brand, which is, again, one of the oldest brands in the country. So we do that, and we still struggle to get people in. So what I've come up with is a new concept of inviting everyone to come on a Friday, which I was showing you earlier, but that. So Friday, we do a concert every Friday, and we ask people to come for free to come and see a show for 1 hour at 1 p.m. So people come along and they walk in, and I'll show you the auditorium actually in a minute. But they come in and they sit down and they watch a show and they enjoy it. You know, an hour's worth of a great entertainer, one of these people. So there's loads of great talented. We've got, like, you know, comedians here and singers here. Got loads of talent. And actually, that guy there, that's Matt Sterling. Oh, sorry, there you go, Matt Sterling.
Yep.
Matt Sterling is Vin Diesel's stunt double. And he's also a magician, and he was also on Britain's Got Talent 3 years ago when he actually did magic for Simon Cowell, and he made a man walk across the stage on fire. That's the guy that does it.
Oh, wow.
And and he won't be doing that here. Trust me, I won't let him. But so he is coming along with many, many other people, and they give their time for an hour to entertain the audience. But what we do in return is we give them a very minimal amount of money to say thank you, but we film them in 2 camera. And we say, here's some content that you can have for absolutely free that you can use on social media. Because it's high res, it's 4K, you can use that for content to build more audiences, more fan bases for themselves. So that's what we do. And in return for that, for a free concert for the audiences out there, for the local community, we then go, we've got this, and we show them other events and shows that we've got. Come and support us. Come and pay a little bit of money because we're giving you this for free. Why don't you give us something back in return and come and just fill up an auditorium and come and watch another comedy night or another entertainer or whatever and give back to us so we can stay open and we can still continue to do what we do. That's how I work it.
That's brilliant. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm sure that's going to resonate with a lot of our viewers and a lot of our audience. So thank you very much for that, Kev, again. And so moving on to you then as the business owner, Kev, what would you say, and it's probably difficult to say this, but what would you say has been some of the biggest lessons that you've learned, 1 or 2 lessons that you've learned along the way that you'd like to share?
One of the biggest lessons I can share with all your viewers and listeners right now is when you have a vision, and you will get them regularly, daily, identify them, write them down. Don't share them. Because the moment you share them, you dilute them. So if you get an idea to do a new app or a new software or a new show or a new story or a new film, when you share it with random people, what you're doing is you're allowing them to steal that idea or to crucify that idea because of their own thoughts and fears. And what it will do is it will dilute your ability to see the clear vision of it. So I would say when you get a vision, when you get an idea, keep it to yourself. Share it, of course, with the right people. How do you find that? Well, you find it with the people that have got nothing to gain from stealing from you because they've got their own dreams, their own aspirations, but they've got skills that benefit you and you've got skills that benefit them. So it's a mutual understanding. So one lesson would be keep your stories to yourself until you're ready to share them when they're out there. Sometimes you don't even need to share them before they become a massive, advert for you on social media, on newspapers and whatever. And everyone goes, are you involved with that? Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Why didn't you tell me about it? Yeah, all right. So that's where I am with that. So that would be my first lesson. My second lesson, which I have to tell you, I still, to this day, struggle with massively, is loyalty. And for me, genuinely and generally, I would find that the world, since the pandemic, has become lazier, has become more prone to just being out for themselves. And what you've got to learn is that's okay. That's fine. Each to their own. But what you don't want to do is pile your ability to become successful with someone that is showing you disloyalty from the start. I think it's very difficult to do that. And no one cares for your business, for your achievements and your success, and ultimately your happiness, because that's why we do it. We do it because we have passion and our passion makes us happy. No one cares for it as much as you do. And those are the 2 lessons I would certainly say be aware of.
Wow, they are 2 really powerful lessons as well. Thank you for those as well. And they will definitely be resonating with a lot of our viewers and audience. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you this question, Kev. The main reason that it's a bit selfish of me, but it's one of my favorite questions to ask.
No.
If we were able to go back in time, and I'm born in the 70s, raised in the 80s kind of kid. So whenever I think of time travel, I
Me
can't
too.
help but think of a silver DeLorean that we can jump into and we hit that 88 miles an hour. But whatever way you want to think that we can time travel, we're going to go back in time and we're going to go and visit an 18-year-old Kev. Now, the one thing is you get to give yourself one piece of advice, one golden nugget. What would it be?
Listen more. End of. Stop talking and listen more, because listening, in my humble opinion, is one of the most difficult things that I've had to still overcome to a certain degree. I love my own voice, but I also love other people's opinions and ideas, and I don't do it enough. I don't listen enough. And I think when you listen more, you actually, you don't have to compromise your ideas. You don't have to compromise anything. You can listen and just go, no, I'll ignore that. But I think if you listen more, you'll hear that the quieter voices, not just from outside, but from within as well. Because the more you stay quiet, the more you hear the positive affirmations that are inside you all the time. And if you allow them to come out and to listen to it properly, I think it changes your life incredibly. So for me, I think listening more would have been my one first and most important accolade to have learnt quicker in life than anything else.
Yeah, and another powerful thing that was definitely going to resonate not only with our younger 18-ish-year-old audience, but probably with some of our older audience as well. Certainly, no, that's sure for me too. Kev, one of the things I love about you is your energy. I mean, even before we jumped on the podcast, I could tell from the moment we started speaking, when we first spoke, your energy, I love it. It sort of just lifts everybody around you. So what I really want to know is, what is it that sort of inspires you? What is it that puts that fire in your belly to do what you do every day, every week, every month, every year?
I think what makes me get up in the morning is knowing that I'm doing something great for the planet. Because my goal, not just to make people smile every day, that's my goal. That's one of my goals. Making children smile every day watching a pantomime, making adults smile every day or laugh every day with a comedy club. That's all well and good, and that's one of my goals. That's one of my passions. But I think the ultimate legacy that I'd like to leave behind is the legacy of knowing that I came to this world and I left it better than I found it. And if I can do that through kindness, through love, through laughter, and through quality productions where I'm giving back to not only the local community, but to the world, not just myself as a stand-up comedian. I travel all over the world making people smile and laugh, well, hopefully, but also doing it for others and sharing the concept of when you give to others your full self with love, kindness, and full energy and passion, what you're doing is you're paying it forward, because people will automatically take that on and pass it on to the next person and the next person. And I've toured with some of the biggest names on the planet, from Elton John through to Lionel Richie's, through to there you go. I'll show you now. That's King Charles. So that's King Charles there. There's me shaking his hand when I performed. There's where is it? There's Margaret Thatcher and all that. And there's Elvis Presley's wife, Priscilla Presley, when I toured with her. And I've got all these accolades of, like, different things that I've done over the world in my life, and everything that I've ever done. Someone has given me the kindness to allow me the chance to perform for those people. And so what I do is I pay it forward by giving the chance for them to shine with a new audience that I'm able to put them in front of. So I pay it forward every single time. So I think leaving the world better than I found it is the ultimate legacy through entertainment, is what I'm trying to do.
Love that. Absolutely love that. That's a great share. Thanks for that, Kev. So, I mean, it's been fantastic, but we've kind of got to the end of the podcast now. So, Kev, I know people are definitely going to want to get in touch. They're definitely going to want to find out more, not only about your businesses, but definitely about you as well. So, what's going to be the best way for people to get in touch?
Well, there's a number of ways. Obviously the best form of kind of getting to know who I am and what I am is to come and see what we do here at the studios. So what I wanted to do was actually ultimately just show you the studios. So the way they get in touch with me is by coming to the studios, coming to some of our comedy nights, coming to some of our events and seeing what it is. And I'm about to turn this around, this camera, so you can see it. But I've just walked into a room that was a cannabis farm with 2 levels of cannabis that was raided about a year and a half to 2 years ago. And it was one of the biggest crimes that was committed in Hertfordshire. And the building was derelict. I took it over. I built it up from scratch and I turned it into this, which is an auditorium with a digital screen, seats. We've got 225 seats. We've got a pantomime company costumes up there. We've got a stage over there with a comedy club. We've got a podcast room over there. You know, we've got another room over here. And what it is, none of this would have been I would have been able to do if I didn't have the right vision. So what I'm saying is, if you want to come along and rather than getting in touch with me via a phone call or an email, but actually come to the Hertfordshire studios in Hoddesdon, come and say hello and let's work together. It's called House of Creative Visionaries. So come along, see who we are, what we're about, and then, you know, come and enjoy it. And while we're having a meeting or while we're having a conversation, come and get to know me and I'll get to know you too. And that's what it's all about.
Wow, that's fantastic. And that looks amazing. So there you've heard it right here, everybody. Kev wants you to go and visit him. He doesn't want a phone call. He doesn't want an email. He wants you to get off your bums and go and see him. So
Absolutely.
fantastic. Kev, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you more. And it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Business Spotlight. Thank you so much.
God bless you, my brother. Thank you.
Take care. Well, for all of our audience and our viewers and our listeners, that's a wrap. And we'll see you all again soon. But that's been the Business Spotlight. Bye for now. See you, Kev.
Take care, brother.